Welcome to the Monday Night Coaches Show. Todd Robinson, Ryan Robinson, along with head coach, athletic director Brad LaPlante of the Hutto Hippos, and coming off a bye week. I think people forgot we do the coaches show on Monday night since we skipped one last week. Either that or they're late arriving. So that's all right. I think we probably have a lot of folks watching. That's what they do.
Is that what that counter is ticking over there? All these people logging in right
That's right.
there?
Yeah. It's up to 147.
Nice.
Yeah, still going.
Good job.
See. Yeah. Now, this is the Coaches Show. We do this every Monday night live from Hippo Cafe, sponsored by Hippo Cafe, Koala Cooling, and Kangaroo. We appreciate Scott and Stacy Feller, all that they do for Hutto ISD and certainly for the football program and sponsoring the Coaches Show every week. It's a great time. Certainly invite people to come out and join us here at the show. But if they can't, we appreciate them watching and listening in on hipposports.com and SHN Sports Network. Well, it was a bye week, your second bye week. Obviously, the first one was kind of unexpected, but had a bye week last week and gave you a chance to probably heal up a little bit and take care of a little business. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about that and what you do during bye weeks. But let's go back 2 weeks, or I guess a week and a half, because we hadn't had a chance to really recap Georgetown.
Yes, sir.
And certainly was a great game against Georgetown. Friday before last, big win for the Hippos, 34-18. 3-game winning streak over those Georgetown Eagles now. That's always fun.
It's a good program.
You don't really care about that, though.
No.
Care about the next one, right?
That's right. I've always thought it's interesting in sports how you can go, for a long time, we had the hardest time beating Georgetown. And it's like once you get over that hump, beat them, then you kind of take control. And now here we are 3 straight years of defeating them. Part of that's just a tribute to growing the program, right?
No, it is. And when you have good players, but let's not say it's been easy either.
No,
They've been,
certainly not.
Tough out wins, and they're a good program. They're well coached, and even though we were up 21-0 at halftime, you saw they came out in the second half with some fire and fought as we knew they would. They always do, and they're a team that, as the season goes on, they always get better. Their kids never lay down and do a good job. They always get better at something every week, it seems like.
Yeah, it does. It seems like a number of years or recent years, they're maybe a 6-4, 7-3 kind of team, and then they end up running 3 or 4 rounds deep into the playoffs. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, they went as deep as we did. I think they were the other team from the district that kind of made a nice run.
They did beat New Caney and ended up getting beat by Shadow Creek, I believe.
In the third round, yeah, same as we did. But it was a 34-18 win over the Eagles, moved the Hippos to 5-0 on the season. More importantly, 2-0 in district play.
Yes,
that's the most important number. But kind of go back to that game. You talked about 21-0 at halftime. You jumped out early on them, and that's I think one of the things we talk about as a key when you play a team like Georgetown is getting out there, grabbing that lead early, punching them in the mouth, giving yourself some confidence, but also kind of getting them reeling a little bit on their heels. Happened the very first series, right? I mean, you had 2 plays, and you're faced with 3rd and 10, and then Grayson does a little kind of scramble off to his right and finds Dejan that's gotten behind the defense, and Grayson threw a tremendous pass, on the run, and then hits Dejan in stride, and Dejan took it 71 yards for the first of his 4 touchdowns of the night.
It was a good night for him. It was.
It was that was a preview of the Dejan Harrison offensive extravaganza. I think we can call it, right?
It was. Well, I think our guys were excited to have home game number 2. It was a great crowd, and the crowd even seemed more into it this time around. I don't know if you guys felt that at all, but that was certainly a
look what I wrote right there.
Yeah, great crowd.
Great crowd.
9 exclamation points. Good job,
nice.
baby. Yeah, our players always feed off it, so they were excited. Good fast start. Anytime you can get a broken play and get something positive out of it. And of course, one of our goals is always to score the first series of the first half, score the first series of the second half. In fact, one of our coaches has never lost when they've done that out of any team, college or high school level. It's that important.
Coach McLean? Is he the one who said that?
It is.
Yeah.
That's one of our goals, and we've got those that we track. And of course, you look at turnovers, and you look at the time of possession, and yards per play. There's all these different statistics, but that one is quite peculiar.
Stat.
It is.
Talk a little bit about you mentioned a busted play when you can score off a busted play or hit a big play, but what are some keys when a play breaks down like that
Right.
That keeps the play going? What are players looking for and to keep that going?
Well, with the offensive line, they just got to find some work because the angles of the linebackers and the defensive line, as the quarterback scrambles to the right, it changes for them, the direction that the opposing players are pursuing. The receivers and running backs either have to turn and block if they think the quarterback is going to run, or they may have to break off a route. So if it's somebody on the left-hand side and they see the quarterback who should be in a straight, 3-5 step drop, and all of a sudden he's breaking to the right, they need to take their angle that's appropriate to find an open hole in the zone or sit down in front of somebody and, just find that open spot and just keep working until the whistle. As you see, good things happen when you keep on working and find that open spot.
Is that something, do you practice at all busted plays, like intentional busted plays?
Defense and offense, the old scramble drill.
Yeah.
Definitely both. And we need to work it this week upcoming for our defense because that's one thing that Cedar Park's quarterback does really well. But it does go in favor for us, too, and our quarterback, can buy some of that time, and our receivers keep on working to get open, and then everybody keeps on just going to the whistle, and it happened.
So how do you do that when you're practicing a busted play? Do you tell somebody, hey, break down over here on purpose, or
well, I mean, when you're working that, you could work one half of the field and have the quarterback scrambled out. So you might run a smash route, which is a hitch in a corner, and they see the quarterback break down and work him side to side. They can work, a corner, a safety, and an outside backer to find the open zones. But eventually, when you're talking scramble drill, the defense is eventually going to latch on to a man and stay on. Of course, then it's up to you to break to get free with man coverage at that time.
And when Grayson's scrambling like that, is he just looking for anybody to? Is he looking short, middle, deep, or where are his eyes?
Well, a lot
typically?
of that is going to depend on who's right in front of him, of course, as he nears the line of scrimmage. But the best thing that a quarterback can do, is keep carriage, two hands on the ball, and keep his eyes downfield. It's no different than when you're in the pocket. There can be a lot of trash and a lot of traffic in front of you. If you can always keep your eyes downfield and not get focused on a defensive end rushing and that sort of thing, it certainly helps you out. So he did a good job and kept his eyes downfield. And what a beautiful throw on the run.
Oh, beautiful and great catch. And, of course, Dejan just ran away at that point. And, said that was the first of his 4 touchdowns. He had a 71-yard touchdown reception on the first play. Then he had a 43-yard touchdown that I think there's still some guys with some hurt ankles on that one. Yeah,
it was good.
I don't know if you watched or listened to the replay. It happened right in front of Bryce, and to hear Bryce down there, almost squealing like a girl whenever he did it. We said he became Chooks on that play. Last year we constantly called Chooks joystick because it's like juking. Chooks did all that. Dejan put a couple of moves that had some guys laying on the ground.
Yeah, it was like it was missing a clip. Like he was here and then he was there.
Yeah.
Nothing in between.
Well, on our wide film that the coaches get, different than our network here, you can see Bryce down there just kind of shaking his head and good old grin on his face. I think he wanted to run out on the field and high-five him there on the way down the sideline, huh?
Well, then he ended up with a 46-yard touchdown run that he took. You lined him up and he took a direct snap.
Well, he's got the ability there to read the defensive end. So as he goes right to left, and if they get any pressure, he's got the ability to cut. And, again, when you're talking about players working, the play is designed to go left, but really it was the backside of the play that those kids kept on working downfield that enabled him to make the first cut and get back. And, of course, a lot of people blocking 8, 10, 12, 14 yards down the field, and certainly his moves didn't hurt on that one either.
No kidding. And then finally he capped it off in the second half with another 75-yard touchdown reception. So I think on the night, what was that, 140, 80, 200? Probably.
189, I think, is what it was, if I remember.
And then if you add in punt returns, I mean, he well over 200 yards total offense. But special night for him.
I thought he was going to get a nomination for the Ford Tough Player of the Week, as we've had other players, Tyler Herrick and Chase Griffin, get that. But there were some unbelievable quarterback and running back statistics out there, statewide. But we're happy with him just helping us get in the dub, that's for sure.
I think probably it's no secret now that for that particular game, Mekhi Kimball wasn't available. So did you have some, like, for instance, that package with Dejan almost kind of running a wildcat, I guess. Do you have some things that you put in that week?
We do.
Mekhi wasn't going to be able to play.
Kind of what we're talking about as the playbook progresses. There's more things that we can do. When we get to step A, we've polished that up. Now let's go to step B. What can we do for step C? And, every run should have a play action or some sort of, candy eye there for the linebackers and the DBs. And, of course, you saw one thing that we have with Dejan. There's more in there,
more.
but there is more in there. And so
Might see some more of those this week.
You might. You might. We'll keep on extending that as long as the guys can handle it and have some fun, and they do. And anytime you have somebody back there playing quarterback, it's different in how they run the show.
Sure.
So you don't want to do 9 things. Just do 1 or 2 and just ease on in and keep progressing. And he did a good job with that.
Well, I think, obviously, when you got a playmaker like that, just like you did last year with Jukes and Caleb and some of those guys, you just want to get the ball in their hands and kind of let them do their thing, right?
Right. Well, there's times, as coaching staff, where it's 3rd and 8. All right, we're struggling a little bit. Think player, not play. When it's 1st and 10 and things are going well and they're running quarters or, cover 2 or whatever it is, all right, we know what play can defeat that defense. Well, now we're having a tough time or we're just kind of slow, we're struggling, whatever it is. Think player, how are we going to get that guy the ball to excite our guys, and then we can go back and think play after that.
It's a good a philosophy I've never even heard or thought about before. That's
I like that. You two showed up tonight. Good job, guys.
No, thanks. Okay, we're good. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good show. All right. Hey, talk also a little about your mindset. When you're, first half of that game, I think I'm not saying this with any disrespect, but you were dominating Georgetown in the first half of that game. So you had an opportunity down there, 4th and goal.
Here's where the callers come in. Is the red light coming?
No. It's all good when you win, right?
No, it's good.
No, I'm really curious when the decision to go for that on 4th down, 4th and 2 or 3, whatever it was, 4th and goal from 2 or 3, versus kicking that field goal. Is that a statement of, hey, first of all, a statement of the offense, I think you can do this, but it's also a statement to the defense. If we don't get it, we know you guys are going to stop them.
Well, at the point, it was 21-0. Our defense was playing lights out. If we don't get it, they have to go 95 yards or better. The other way, with Evan, we obviously know it's an automatic 3 points, but we haven't been put into a lot of situations where our jumbo package, we call it, where we've got 2 tight ends and a couple running backs in there, have really gotten a lot of work. Of course, we work it 2 times a week during the course of practice, but when it's that time and it's heavy hitting, it's different. You don't want to have a lot of those segments in practice going against each other. At this time of year, you start to scale back a little bit, on the hitting and banging around, so you don't get in a lot of live situations like that. And so, generally speaking, it's time to work on it for me at that time, just because we haven't been in those situations. The defense is playing well. I'm okay with it. I wish we would have scored. Certainly wish we would have scored. But
like
it also told us what we're good at and what we're not good at. So we have changed up some things with our jumbo personnel throughout the course of the year. Just you tailor your things to your personnel. That's going to make us change some things too.
Yeah, Bryce and Ryan were like questioning it, thinking that was terrible play. I was like, no, that's a great call. I think you should be going for that. No, I'm kidding. We support everything, every decision you make.
There you go.
I told you the only one that questioned it was Van texted in, and he was like, dang it, I rubbed off on him.
It could have been 4th and 40, and he would have still went for it.
Of course he would have. No way he's kicking. No, that was a fun game. It was you mentioned great crowd, great atmosphere. In fact, we have on the Hippo Cafe TV right now is the replay of the game. But we were broadcasting with SHN, and then Georgetown uses SHN. So I went back on Saturday and I was watching their broadcast because I wanted to see something I never get to see and you never get to see.
Right.
In fact, I ended up taking a picture and showing it to you.
Sure.
We never get to see what our side looks like. What our crowd and stands and everything else. And I shot you that picture where our stands were packed.
You're right.
and the sky behind us was beautiful, beautiful sunset. But it was packed, and in fact, the Georgetown announcers even made a comment. They said, "Yeah, we have a bunch of Hutto people sitting over here on our side because they're broadcasting from the top of the stands on that side, and because we don't have room in our press box for another school to broadcast." Mr. Gideon, just saying. Anyway. And they even made a comment there. We have Hutto people sitting in the stands on this side because the Hutto side was so full. So it was great. And then we all went out last Friday night to the Georgetown Cedar Park game.
Right.
I'm telling you, Hutto crowd much better than a Georgetown crowd or Cedar Park crowd. With all due respect to those folks, our people show up and our people are excited for Hutto football. And well, they should be, because listen to this. You probably didn't know this. Since 2017, you know what the Hippos' record is? Probably hadn't thought about it.
0-0 so far this week. We're going to be 1-0 though.
That's about this week. No, this is. I just think this is a testament to the program that you're building, that Van started, and you're continuing that. But Hippos are 27-3 since 2017.
Nice.
It's pretty impressive. At home, you're on a 12-game win streak. Hippos are 12-0 in their last 12 games at home. They're 15-2 going back to 2016 at home. 9-1 on the road going back to 2017. Doesn't count neutral site games, of course. Here's the deal. Our last home loss, October 28, 2016 to
Elgin?
Cedar Park. Our last road loss, true road loss, November of 2017 to
I'm with you.
Cedar Park.
I'm with you.
So
See where you're going with this.
see where I'm going with that?
I do.
Yeah. Put that on the bulletin board this week.
Our guys know. I don't think there's much bulletin board material needed
know.
this week. So, I mean, even right now, I think we're on an 8-game district win streak. If we would do our job Friday night, it'd be number 9, I believe.
Yeah, I just think that's really an impressive program that Hutto's building. Of course, by Dave Campbell's Texas football, Hutto's ranked number 6 in the state right now. Cedar Park slips in at number 10 this week. So it's a top 10 matchup of two 5A schools this week, Hippos versus Cedar Park. So player game I mentioned, Dejon Harrison offensively, I don't think that was probably decided by halftime. In fact, about halfway through the second half, Rick Cantu from the Austin American Statesman, is up in the press box. He has to sit up there where we sit, where we do the radio and where everybody else sits because, there's not a lot of room up in our press box.
It's cozy.
Mr. Gideon. And just saying. No, anyway, Rick Cantu, at some point halfway through the second half, I looked at Rick Cantu. I was like, I don't think there's any question who your Austin American Statesman offensive player of the week's going to be.
Right.
And sure enough, I think Dejon ended up. Okay, talked about the offense because the offense obviously did a fantastic job. But let's talk about the defense because the defense came out lights out as well.
Did.
Yeah, I mean, Georgetown couldn't even move the ball.
No, our third down conversion was really good. And, even prior to the game, you heard, Landon talking about the matchup there on the Friday morning show. It's going to be physical, and they're big. And, just standing on our sideline, looking across the way during the national anthem, God, what great frames they have over there. Just big, strong, thick kids. So we knew it was going to be a battle at the line of scrimmage, and certainly it was. But we had a couple guys with must have been 3 guys with 9 or more tackles, I think, on the game. So we controlled the line of scrimmage, and it was good. I mean, we did get a little bit tired there in the second half, and we were worried a little bit about the quarterback when we were supposed to squeeze a little bit. So really there was one long run, but any plays that they connected on, our guys had really good angles. Travis Taylor got a couple from behind and did a good job there, and touchdown savers. And our defense is so good that if we can make a team drive the length of the field, somebody's going to make a play. Somebody's going to do their job. Something good is going to happen. We're going to defeat a one-on-one block. We're going to have great coverage, whatever it is. We have that much confidence in our guys.
Hey, Coach Hooten, come join us. Coach Hooten, Randy Hooten, co-defensive coordinator, and want to talk to him just a little bit about Hippo Nation. He joined Hippo Nation last year. And
2 years ago.
Oh, I'm just kidding. 2 years ago. God, has it been that
We're
long?
happy to
You're
have
already
you
in your third year? Wow.
Third year already.
It is.
Wow. Welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about, so you came from A&M Consolidated. Talk a little bit about the transition going from a school like that, coming over to Hutto and just being able to settle into Hippo Nation and lead a defense like you have?
It's been a great transition for me. I spent 5 years over there, had a lot of success, and got to work with great coaches that help kind of build where my playbook is kind of come from. And then coming in here, the coaches have been great bringing me in. The kids have been extremely receptive. We have great kids that believe in what we're doing, and that makes it easy as a coach. When the kids believe in what we're doing, they trust the adjustments that you want to make. They become a lot more coachable. And just like he got done talking about, I've been preaching for 3 years to those kids. Fortunately, I have some seniors that I've been around for 3 years who believe in erase the play. Go make the tackle, make them snap it again. And we've had numerous instances of getting an interception, getting a fumble. I think that happened against Liberty Hill a couple times after a couple of longer plays. Getting a fourth down stop, forcing them into a field goal try, where things turn back in favor of the Hippos once we're able to go down and make the plays. And so when you have kids that give that kind of effort, it makes me look like a real good coach.
Well, wait, Houghton got here in 2017. Since 2017, we're 27-3. Way to go! 27-3.
Somebody's got to take that credit.
Yeah, that's a lot more of the kids than it is me. I promise.
No,
well, and what he's talking about is true, because there's been 4 or 5 times this year where we could have just bent on over and just let them go. Instead, our kids bow their neck and do a good job. And that's one thing when our middle school coaches go out and we talk to them on the phone after the game. Who is their leader on offense or defense? Well, how does he play after he makes a good play? What if he misses a play? How does he play? And I think that's one thing that our kids do is they're going to play that very next play. They may make a mistake. They may miss a tackle, or maybe they dropped an interception or didn't squeeze or whatever it is. But that next play, they're right back to doing their job. So that's what makes our defense really, really good.
All right. I got to ask you, the whole turnover chicken thing. Where did that start?
The chicken.
Hang on. And for those that don't know, so when our guys get a turn, first of all, they run onto the field with this stupid rubber chicken. And then anytime there's a turnover, the guy that got the turnover somebody throws him the chicken, and he runs over to the student section and throws it up in the student section. It's the most hilarious thing.
There's a lot of schools with colleges or whatever that have the turnover chain or the turnover belt or different things like that. And at some point this year, we had a rubber chicken in the coach's office that the kids adopted and decided that was going to be their thing. And so if the kids get excited about it, they have fun with it. We think they look like a bunch of idiots, but they love it. And whatever gets them going, man, that gets us fired up. Against Pflugerville Conley, one of the best things of the night was we had a sky kickoff that they didn't cover. Zane Bolding recovers it. He runs in a full sprint from the field to the chicken to run to the student section to climb up on the fence in front of the student section and scream like a wild man and jump down. And I ran over there. Hey, make sure climbing up fences and jumping down. Let's stay healthy for a while. Know. But the kids love it. They buy into it. They have fun, and that's why you play the game, is to have fun. And so
that's how legends and traditions get started too, right?
Absolutely.
Just kind of random stuff like that. And the student section loves it.
Absolutely. Our student section is phenomenal.
They are. They are.
I commented on that. We were at the Georgetown Cedar Park game. Granted, it was a holiday weekend. I understand kids didn't have school, but I looked over at that CP student section, and I was like, wow, our students would have been probably 10 times as many over there at that game against Georgetown. They're fun. Those kids have a great time.
That's part of the atmosphere of going to sporting events and having a good time, and that's what makes it fun for everybody. Everybody's all included, and Hippo Nation really is Hippo Nation. Come out. We have the crowd. We have the students. We have the kids on the field that are excited to be there, and it's a lot of fun.
So I see them run and throw the chicken into the stands, but then I'm back watching because I got to call the next play. I never see how the chicken makes its way back down onto the
apparently it gets
sidelines.
thrown back.
Yeah. so far, nobody has stolen
The
the
honor
There's been a give
system.
and take system,
Yeah.
and it's worked out great.
the honor system.
Yeah.
Ryan, y'all didn't have anything fun like that when you played.
No, I didn't have anything fun.
Didn't get enough turnovers, I guess.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I want to talk to you about it as a defensive coach. Yeah, and probably any coach. You can chime in too, Brad. But when you watch film, so the next morning, Saturday morning, you've played Friday night. You sit down, you're watching film with the players. Are you more instantly start pointing out the positive things, or do you kind of go more towards, hey, these are the things the mistakes we made that we need to clean up?
Well, you go through and you watch it as the game flows, but you want to try to point out both. Obviously, you want to point out mistakes because there's always things we can fix. You know, we've played a lot of great football games this year, but we haven't played a perfect one yet. And so there's always things that we can fix, and we want to point those out. But then you want to go back and you want to find the examples of, see, we used that technique right here, or we leveraged the ball carrier so there was no extra space, and you want to find examples of those positive things and how those result in positive plays. And so you can build on that. And so it's a little bit of both. You make sure you point out the things that made the play successful, the plays that aren't successful. You talk about, hey, here's where we can be better, and go about improving from there.
What has been your, I guess, as you came from Consolidated to Hutto, what's been the thing that's kind of sucked you into Hippo Nation? We tell you everybody that comes to Hippo Nation gets sucked into it. What's kind of sucked you into the whole Hippo Nation culture?
Really, it's the atmosphere altogether. First off, the players. These guys, these players that, like I said, believe in what we do. They're a lot of fun to be around. They're good kids, and they want to be coached. They want to be coachable, and that's a great thing. And then you have the atmospheres that we have on Friday nights, and you have parent support with things. And you know, I grew up as an A&M fan from when I was tiny. You know, that's just the way I was raised. And I went to Texas A&M, and obviously they've got that tradition and that atmosphere that surrounds them.
Some of us call it a cult.
Yes.
Ryan and I call it a cult.
You know, from the outside looking in, you can't explain it or can't understand it. And from the inside looking out, you can't really explain it. And that's, you know, Hippo Nation has that belief in what's going on. And you know, I'm from a smaller town in East Texas, and you know, that's just what I'm used to being around is good, great atmospheres. And then when I was at Consolidated, and it was good, but the town had split into two high schools,
right.
And there's the university in town, so the high school game is not the big ticket in town.
Right.
And so you lose some of that a little bit, and you come here that this is the place to be on Friday night,
yeah.
and it's awesome.
Yeah. How fun is it to coach this defense that you have this year? Especially, you're looking at, you know, your defensive line, probably one of the best defensive line in the state of Texas.
Absolutely.
You know, at any level. How fun is it to coach guys like that? You got, I mean, you know, including a guy that's going to be playing SEC football in 2 years.
2 years, not 1 year, so it's even better.
It
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
No, it's a blast. I mean, you can have and look at, here's the X's and O's, and here's how my system or my playbook or whatever as any coach would look at. But if you don't have the kids that can go out there and execute it, you're going to struggle. And our kids, they do a fantastic job of going out and not only executing what we ask them to do, but we have some kids that can dominate the person next, you know, across the field from them.
Right.
And that's a lot of fun to watch.
Landon Watson, of course, the one we're talking about that's going to be playing SEC football at LSU in a year and a half. He was at that LSU Florida game this past Saturday night, I think. Yeah. Did he come back talking about it?
A little bit.
Yeah. What do you say? What do you say that atmosphere is like?
No, it was good. He showed a couple videos. He was showing players in the locker room a couple videos that, of course, he had posted them as well. But it's good. It's big time. It's what he wants.
In some ways, it's probably great. A player goes to something like that he's going to be playing for, and he comes back and he can
recruit some other guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can go kind of recruit a little bit, show these guys, go, hey, this is work hard enough, and especially you younger guys, maybe y'all can do this too, right?
Well, and that's, you know, you talk about our record and everything. I think we have 13 guys right now playing college football that graduated from Hutto. So, you know, our kids know, let's take care of it in the classroom, let's work hard in the weight room, let's win some ball games. And recruiters, I mean, that's I-35 and 130. It's right here. You know, when we have anywhere from 15 to 18 spring ball practices, depending on how many we choose. I don't know if there's a spring ball practice we go where there's not a polo shirt there watching our guys.
Right.
So they're going to get looked at.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how that has. I mean, that's happened in the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's just all of a sudden Hutto's become a place that a lot of these college scouts want to come to. Hey, Amir and Jay, y'all come on over here. Talk to a couple players here and ask them. Coach, pass your headphone off, and Ryan will pass his off. Amir, you're becoming a expert sitting here. This is your second time this year to get to do this. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Jay Lambert, Amir Ward, and talk a little bit about Amir, kind of what we were just talking about with being on a defense like you are. And I know we talked about that a little bit last time you were on the show, but playing with a guy like Landon that goes to LSU this past weekend, and he gets to come back and tell you guys what big-time college football is all about. Does that get you kind of pumped up?
It's really just more motivation for the team or the defense in general. You know, we all gonna work together and gel together as a unit. Like I said before, you know, it really just brings us together and want to play harder together even more. So,
Jay, talk a little bit about what it's like to play on this offense, and we've commented a few times that I know Grayson has lots of guys he can throw the ball to. But it seems like sometimes quarterbacks have a guy that man, if I got to go to somebody, there's one or two guys that I go to, and it seems like you sometimes are that guy, or the one that steps up and makes that big catch at a critical time, maybe a 3rd and long situation or something like that.
Yes, sir.
How's that feel?
It's astounding, honestly. Me and Grayson played freshman football last year, so we kind of have that connection that not the other players don't really have like me and him have. But, we're still building it as we get along. So we have a couple more years together and probably going to get stronger from there.
How does a receiver and a quarterback build that chemistry? Do you guys go out a lot, just do nothing but run routes, play catch?
It's more of like a friendship thing. Like, we know we know where we're going to be at this time, like on the field, and like we build that like in the classroom, like on the field. It's just a chemistry thing that we have, and we build it.
What was it like coming out there last Friday night, or Friday before last? Big game, Georgetown. It's a rival game, and man, you come out, and again, crowd is packed. It's just big time Texas high school football atmosphere. Is that pretty exciting?
Yes, sir. It is.
oh, for
Very
sure.
exciting.
I feel like I was at the SEC game.
Oh yeah,
Felt like I was balling.
it was about the same.
Yeah, around there.
It was. I want you guys to talk, and I wanted to ask Coach about this too, but I thought it was really, really special, and probably says a lot about a team and how you care about each other when you're running onto the field. Well, but you're not running on the field, you're walking, because who was the first guy that y'all were leading onto the field? Brock in that wheelchair. Whose idea was that? Probably Brock's idea, huh?
Nah, it's more of like a team thing. We knew we really wanted him to be on the field, and we know how he feels about football. And we was just like, we can't go out there without Brock. He's a big part of our team, and even though he's injured, he's still a big part of our team.
Absolutely.
So we had to make sure we bring him out.
That was that actually brought some tears to some eyes, folks. I might have gotten a little choked up when I was even talking about it on the radio, describing it. It's like that's just that's one of those things that where you start looking beyond football, right? I mean, it's all about that's teammates and that's friendships and that's loving each other and caring for each other. And what did you think about that?
Well, of course, we didn't know. We never know what's going to come out. Let's be honest. We don't know what's going to come out of that tunnel. We don't know.
Well, it's going to be the Freddy Krueger mask or the whatever else it is now, the clown with the red balloon.
Right. No, to see that was good. That's what we want to have. I mean, that's what we expect out of our locker room. Does it always happen that it's a great brotherhood? It doesn't. But these guys are a really, really tight-knit group, and they know that Brock gave a lot. 3-year starter. That's big. Also playing quarterback, punter, holder. Every special team he could be on. He could go line up at tailback. He probably play left tackle if we needed to on offense. He's just that kind of guy, and came to work every day. And so, that was a big part of the team to, miss him and not have him there. But that was big of them to pick him up, because everybody knows how they would have felt had they just gotten out of the the surgery room. But that's him too. That he's going to be there no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually supposed to be there, was he?
That's all right. You knew he was going to be there.
Well, of course.
You knew he was going to be there.
Yeah, I think the doctor had said maybe you shouldn't be there. And it's like, whatever.
No,
Play at Georgetown.
We had a good setup for him down in the end zone there, and a lot of people took care of him as they should, because their family's done a lot for this program, from being the football mom and team meals and concessions and the blow up tunnel. I mean, there isn't anything that Dean and Angela has not been involved with this program. Let's face it.
And they got a few more years of it.
They do.
They got Brody that's
They
a freshman,
They do.
and Briggs is, what is Briggs? 7th grade, 8th grade? Briggs is Bryce.
6th grade, maybe.
6th grade.
Sixth grade, yeah.
Oh yeah,
sixth
you
grade.
got, oh my gosh, you got 6 more years of buenos
There you go.
to do things. And poor Angela is going to be so tired of being a booster club mom and all that. And
She just takes good notes and gets better every year.
hey,
It's
I
great.
tell you what, she's on our Young Life committee. She's amazing.
She is.
She and Terry both. Those two sisters get things
Yes, sir.
done. So, yeah, it was cool. Even after I think it was Dejan's, maybe it was his second touchdown, I think, where he ran through the end zone and ran over to Brock sitting in his wheelchair and kind of gave him a hug, high five, and that was again just kind of that teammate camaraderie thing, right?
Those
All
two
right.
are really good friends. The only good thing about his injury is we don't have to keep those two separated during film meetings and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. So now y'all have to take care of the little brother though, right? Because now Brody stepped up and has to fill a little bit of those shoes, at least from punting and wherever else he might get called on.
Yeah, show him the ropes a little bit, but I mean, his first game on varsity, he stepped up. To me, at least, he did. I know for sure I seen a difference from freshman level to him coming up playing varsity. I know his first time getting in, he made a big play.
Got a personal foul, didn't he?
I mean, it was a big play, though.
It was a big play.
Hey, if he wouldn't have hit him, he probably would have scored.
Definitely has the skill to play varsity football. Definitely has.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
give credit to those freshmen, because they're running all our schemes, and that's why we do what we do
Right.
throughout the program, so that next guy can step on in. And of course, he's got the body. He's a big freshman.
He is a
and
big
to,
boy.
to do that, but he's also got the mentality and toughness and self-awareness and confidence in himself that he can fit in really, really good with these guys. But a freshman coming into that locker room, they don't have to accept him. They did, and made
Right.
sure that they did. A lot of people went over and did a good job with that. These older guys.
Yeah,
So.
that's fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity here. Y'all got the headsets. You're on the show. Y'all get to interview Coach.
Wow.
Here we go.
Careful, Amir.
There we go. Ask him whatever you want. It's your show right now.
Coach LaPlante, how do you feel about Hutto High School playing Cedar Park this week? Am I doing good with the voice?
I think it's a great matchup. 2 top 10 teams. It's a great rivalry. I think Hutto is destined to be great on Friday night. We've got great players who are going to step up and make great plays, and that brotherhood is going to be awesome on Friday night. Can't wait to see them play ball.
Well, Coach, I know you're not a big guy on trash talk, but, Cedar Park has been on the internet, and they've just been coming at your players. How do you feel about that, Coach?
Well, as you know, we only care about ourselves and what we do: alignment, assignment, and execution, baby.
BCD. That's
Yes,
what
sir.
I like,
There you go.
BCD.
Yes, sir.
Jay, you got any questions?
I have a question. I have a couple questions. What's something you think we should improve on this week going against Cedar Park that we didn't really see against Georgetown, but Cedar Park will bring to us?
Ooh, I like that one. That's a good question there.
I'm done.
I like it. I like it. That's good. Honestly, I would love our offensive line to be more physical from the first play to the last. That would be one thing that, in tight games, in good games, in closely contested games, it's proven that you have to run the ball to win. So we must be physical
Sir.
up front.
Yes, sir. And my final question is, what's something that you think Cedar Park really excels at that we have to be ready for when they come to play us this week?
I think they play as hard as any team I've ever seen at the high school level from when that ball moves until the whistle. I think that is something that is a big testament to their players and their coaches. And I know, they've got a goal that 95% of their players, when the ball carrier is tackled, they're going to judge you by, are you within 5 yards of that ball, and giving great effort. So I think that's a big thing that they do very well and be respected for.
Yes, sir.
I have one more question. What time is report tomorrow? Definitely can't be late this week.
Well, that's all good. Check your band app. Sir.
Check the band.
I knew it was
my
coming.
gosh.
You
Check
knew
the
that
I
was
band.
knew the
coming.
band app was coming.
Check the band out.
Great job, guys.
They're good, aren't
Amir, I
they?
like the voice transition too.
Yeah,
That was
I've been working on it in class. We did the national anthem. I've been practicing.
Yeah. Are you in like a video class? Video
No,
production?
but I think I should be in one.
I'm starting to think.
Might be
Yeah.
good at
I
it.
think the camera likes me too. I'm looking kind of good on here.
Yeah, both of you are. Great.
Coach
Super
always try to
job.
sound ugly.
Yes, sir.
That was great. They didn't know
side view right
didn't know
there.
they were going to do that either. I did not give them any advance warning.
Way good.
So
Way
That's
good.
great.
I
that's
like
fantastic.
It. I like it.
So I do have a question, kind of playing off a little bit of the Cedar Park stuff, but this is actually for you guys. So obviously for many, many years, Cedar Park owned this district, right? They were the district champs, and Hippos last year went and took that crown, and you're wearing that crown right now, but it means you also are wearing a target on your back. So now you've gone from being the hunters to being the hunted, as the saying goes. How does that feel to know now you've got a district championship you need to defend, and right now you're 2-0, but those guys over there in Cedar Park, they're gung ho to try to take it away from you.
Yeah, I'll go first. Ever since spring ball, like they've been talking about us, like saying they're coming back to get the championship, like they want to take it back. And our saying is come and take it, and if they're gonna try to come and take it, we're gonna try to give it to them. Because we're a really good team. Like they're a really good team too, but it's gonna be a dogfight. It's not gonna be a runaway game. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna battle, and we're gonna come out there with the championship, obviously. But it's just patience and going for your progressions and stuff like that.
To me, it's just really executing on the field and like we've been doing it, just taking it one game at a time. Cedar Park is a great team, just like every other team we faced, and really just going out there and playing our game, not worrying about what they're doing, but playing our game, playing our scheme, and better team will come out with the dub.
I think Amir could not only be a broadcaster, he could be a coach too, because he does the coach speak. Gives
Very
the right
politically
answers.
correct with that,
Absolutely.
isn't he? Huh?
Gives all the right answers. Doesn't want to rile anybody up.
He's
It's
got
like,
a lot of character
this
in
is,
there. It's coming out a little bit. I like it. It's good. It's
That's
good.
no. In all honesty, how do you you as coach and Coach Hutton and the other coaches? Obviously, I mean this is a huge game. It's no secret, and great chance that this game could ultimately go towards deciding the district championship this year. So how do you guys keep these guys focused on this is another game? We got to go out and do our thing. Don't get too high because it's Cedar Park, and of course it's at their place.
Right. Well, this morning we had the defense in the varsity locker room, and we had a meeting for our pre-practice time where sometimes we're outside doing drills and lining up, and we just went over the scouting report, and it wasn't a situation where coaches had to get the kids focused at all. They were already asking questions. They had, a couple of the kids you could see had looked at all the diagrams of the formations and how we were going to line up and blitzes we may run to a particular formation. Some of the DBs had some questions already for Coach Hutton. They were dialed in. So it's not like we're squirrely and too amped up. I mean, let's face it. These guys, because of their success and the way that they prepare and they play, they've been in big games before. So, honestly, I'd love to have this every Friday night. You don't ever want to be matched up against a team that's much better than you, or you're that much better than them. It's going to be a dogfight, and as a competitor, this is what you want. For us to be tested against a good quality program like them, this is a second or third round playoff matchup. Well, let's see how good we are, guys, and let's go get better at things down the road. So when we get to that second or third round, no matter what happens this Friday night, we're victorious going on to that third or fourth. So this is just a great test for two good football teams coming in on Friday night.
Well, I'm sure you, as a coach, you have the ultimate respect for a program like that, right? And Coach Apsick and what he has done over there.
Well, and, obviously I'm from out of state.
Right.
But there probably were
really
7 or 8 programs being, the Cadies, the North Shore, the Cedar Parks, that when I moved down to Houston the second time, I already knew about them. So when I came here in 2014, Central Texas was all about Cedar Park.
Right.
And they were here and everybody else was here. Well, we've closed that gap, and we've been above that gap too. So we want to stay there because we've built something really special because of good quality guys like these two. And our coaching staff has done a fantastic job getting the schemes in place where our kids can learn them and play really, really fast.
That's why you're 27-3 over the last 3 years.
Well, and give credit to Coach Van with the staff that he assembled, and all of us coaches, we're just taking that on, and the players believe in what we do. They trust each other, and our coaches have great schemes in play for special teams, offense and defense, and we've got the right kids in the right spots, and so that's why you see it come together.
So give us a scouting report on Cedar Park. Obviously, we got to go out there last Friday night. One of the advantages, I guess, of having a bye week, it worked out great before a team like Cedar Park. First, you get 2 weeks to prepare for them. And then second, you actually get to go out and watch them in person against a team that you've already played, which is probably helpful too.
Correct. So this is, I think, the third time that I've seen them live this year, based on the fact that we played on the Thursday night, or we didn't have the Houston-Lamar game or bye week. So different styles, obviously, of teams that we've had the chance to see them against. But starting with their offense, they're going to go with Ryder and his right arm and what he can do. They will run the ball. They want to get outside and get on the edge. And, of course, we feel very strongly about our three-fronter. If Amir walks down into a four-front, or Sadavian, our other outside linebacker, or Kendall, that people are not going to be able to push straight ahead against us. But we're pretty good on the edge, too. So it's going to be a battle to see, are they going to test that edge, and can we defend that? Because they do shuffle in 2 or 3 different running backs. And then because of our good defensive line play, can we get pressure through their offensive line to that quarterback? And when you have a good mobile quarterback who keeps his eyes up, like we talked about that with Grayson earlier, he does a really good job.
He does.
Different arm angles, keeping everything in play. We've got to be smart about what are the angles we're going to take to him from defensive line. Are we going to blitz him? What are we going to do coverage-wise? Because if we're in zone, do we have to work on scramble drill to latch on, or do we just go man coverage so we're already latched to a man? Of course, then when you're doing man coverage and everybody gets run off and you got a good mobile quarterback, there's some things there. So definitely a good potent offense to line up against, and we do have some good adjustments. Veteran kids, we're going to line up a call that we've had before, but that's going to be kind of our base defense, and nobody questioning. All right, coaches, here we go. We're ready to go. So,
and based on what I was hearing, the PA guy the other night in Georgetown, one of his go-to receivers is Absek's son.
It is.
His name was called a lot.
Jersey number 13. So they've got some good special plays in for him. That he's just he's not a big guy. He's not a 4-3 guy, but he finds the open space. Yeah. So he does a good job with what the play calls envisioned for him, and he gets space. And, of course, they've got another wide receiver, 34. If he gets vertical, he'll get after it. And, of course, you saw that the other night, and I saw that against Cinco Ranch probably 5 or 6 times. He was really the go-to guy that night there. But they're going to go with their offensive line. If they can protect him, that'll be their key there. And then, defensively, they're 3-front just like us. I think they're a little banged up right now. 2 of their top, 5 kids, 2 starters, did not play either at all or really from the second quarter on against Georgetown. Of course, we know they're going to get healthy this week and tape it up and go and give us their best run. But I think their defense goes with their defensive line. They've shown more blitzing from their outside backers in their 3-4 scheme this year, so we need to be prevalent with that with our running backs and pass protection and also our offensive tackles. But we need to make sure that we stretch the field. They're going to give some opportunities for us to get some one-on-one matchups, and if we protect, we've got to get those when we have it. I've already spoken to it before. We've got to find a way to run the ball against them. They're really good against the run. They flow to the ball really, really well.
Black Rain defense has been kind of a staple for them for years.
Yeah. And they take pride in that. And, of course, me being an offensive line guy, I want to run the ball on everybody because that opens up the play-action game and the downfield passing and your screen game and just kind of takes the will away from that defense. So that's a big focal point for our offensive line to be able to do that. But, we know it's going to be decided in the fourth quarter, and it's not going to be one play. It's going to be a series of plays and how we line up and execute and, take care of our assignments and, stay healthy throughout the course of the game. That's going to win, a good, fun battle like this.
Speaking of healthy, you had the 2 weeks with the bye week. You able to get some guys kind of healed up a little bit that were banged up.
Yeah, so we, you can work some technique on air and angles and spacing things, and of course we did that and just kind of shored up a lot of things. It wasn't like we had to sit there and do a bunch of tackling drills and do different things. It was just these are the mistakes that we've consistently been making. Let's shore those up, get those things right defensively and offensively, and of course we had a little bit of time to put some things in preparation for Cedar Park. But there were emphasis and times, especially with different groups during the course of the week, the emphasis was solely on us, and we've got to get better at these two things today. You know, we kind of sat down in the coaches meeting. All right, we've got to keep these guys' attention. Give your, position group 3 things to get better each day, and keep going with that to make sure that there is an emphasis, because it's hard to go through a 6 a.m. practice and be there when you don't have an opponent on Friday night compared to when you do have a former state champion ready for you like this Friday. So, but our guys did a good job, and we got a lot of good things done last week. But that's a good sign of maturity. You guys did well.
What are some other things you just personally as coach and AD, because obviously during football season it's hard to fulfill all your AD role because you're so much to do with football. But do you use that bye week to try to catch up on some things that maybe are hard to get to during the season?
We had some facility things that we were, working on a little bit. Of course, it gives an opportunity to maybe go check out another program or go check on some coaches at a practice to work on some things there. I had a chance to go look at another school south of Austin, because we're working on our 9th grade center that'll eventually be high school number 2, just to get some ideas and support Henry down the road as we look at some of that. So Thursday I did that. Where we started a fundraiser, 7th through 12th grade. There's always something to look at, but certainly we had enough film against Cedar Park to keep us busy and want to, and go back to our past film to look at some things there. So there's always something to do.
And still not enough time.
You're right.
Still don't get it all done.
But that's okay. That's why we do this, because we love our kids and want to keep working on things and give them more and give them the best, and that's good.
You'll do all those other things in January.
There you go.
After you win a state championship and right before Christmas, right?
Sir.
There we go. All right. Well, it is Hippos versus Cedar Park this Friday night at Gupton Stadium, playing over there in their home. And we need, we rave and talk about the Hippo crowd and the Hippo student section and all that. And we need the Hippo students to show up and be loud and rowdy. And
that's right.
You guys need to bring them that turnover chicken a number of times, Amir. Throw that turnover chicken up into the student section. And, we just need the Hippos to show up in full force at Gupton Stadium, 7 o'clock Friday night. Allow yourself plenty of time. It's hard sometimes to drive over there at Cedar Park. Traffic on a Friday can be kind of tough.
I'm going to go back to 2014. 2014 we played at Temple. 2014, that was the best away crowd that I have seen, not only at Hutto, but the other places. I'm going to challenge our people. We need that same type of crowd to be over there and support these guys. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a great game.
Well, hopefully it's as great a game as that one, but has just a little different ending.
Yes, sir.
Because that one, still to this day,
still see that over the pylon.
Davion scored a touchdown on that play. I don't think there's any question, but that's long history. Davion's now in the NFL.
Well, let's not get into officiating things. I know where you're going with this Tech game and everything.
Oh, no.
I'm going with that one.
I don't know what you're talking about. But that does take us to our picks. So, okay, here we go. Man, we were all kind of making up ground on Gage, and then 2 weeks ago, he blew us all out of the water. He went 6-1 on the college picks and 4-1 on the high school picks. So Gage with the commanding lead. He's 39-19 overall. Ryan and I are both 32-26, and you're not. So,
but I get to add 5 on, right?
Yeah, well, that'll only bring you up to 30 then.
Way good.
So you're still not behind if we add 5. Yeah, you're 25-33. But I know the only one you care about, you're 5-0.
You're right.
On the ones that matter.
A couple kids asked me today who my team was, and they were in total disbelief. There's a couple freshmen, and I said the Hippos. And they said, no, for real, Coach, who's your college team? I said the Hippos. Who's your pro team? The Hippos. They can't believe that I don't follow a team.
Well, he hates the NFL. He's not an NFL guy.
No.
But
the Minnesota Hippo.
I saw Christy wearing that Minnesota shirt last Friday night.
Well, that's because we couldn't wear Hippo gear. We didn't want people to know who we were, right? Huh?
Yeah, they had no idea that we were from Hutto up there
I felt
watching
bad.
them play.
I wore my Hutto Hippo cover. I felt terrible.
It's all good.
That's all right.
It's way good.
I'll forgive you. All right, here we go. Ryan, we'll have to get yours. All right, West Virginia at OU. OU favored by 33.5. Gage, can they win by that much? Going West Virginia. You're thinking OU might have well, not to win. It's against the spread.
Yeah.
It's getting
Oh,
the
it's
college
like
games are
crazy.
against the spread. Yeah. Ryan, West Virginia also. Yeah, I'm thinking OU probably a little let down after the UT game.
West Virginia just got beat, didn't they?
Yes.
I'm going OU. They're taking it.
I like that one.
All
I
right.
got to make up ground.
I like OU.
Well,
Taking my chances.
OU will win, but will they win by 34?
Yeah,
So
maybe 35.
maybe so.
Call it, Jay.
Iowa State at the Red Raiders. Iowa State's favored by 5.5. Scott, man, and the Red Raiders. Yeah, that was a fumble in overtime. Did you see it?
I did.
It's terrible.
Couldn't believe it.
So
I didn't
frustrating.
watch it.
All right,
Hit his
Gage.
butt.
Yeah, center hit his. He thought the quarterback was underneath him. He was in shotgun, and center snaps it up off his own butt, fumbles on the ground. Tech falls on
Ooh.
it. Tech should have had
That was big.
That cost
been able to
them.
kick field goal and win the game.
That was big.
That cost them.
Anyway.
Wow.
All right, Gage. Iowa State. Ryan, guns up. I will also go guns up.
I better go with the Cyclones.
Amir, you going guns up?
Yeah.
Nah, I can't go guns up.
Come on, Jay.
Iowa State.
Stick with the program,
Come
Jay.
on, man.
Come on,
Iowa
man.
State.
Chooks is out there. Who do you know at Iowa State?
I just gotta go Iowa State.
All right. All right. TCU at Kansas State. TCU favored by 2.5 at Kansas State.
This is a hard one.
TCU, right? KSU.
Kansas.
I think I'm
I got
going
Kansas
KSU
State.
also.
Yeah,
they
I'm gonna
they
go
got
with them, too.
embarrassed.
Yeah, Kansas State.
Yeah, they got embarrassed.
Kansas State.
Both
Kansas
y'all?
State.
All right. All right. Baylor at Oklahoma State. This is shocking. Oklahoma State's actually favored by 3.5. Tech beat Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago.
Baylor
And
gets lucky.
BU.
Oklahoma
trap.
State.
Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Yep. I'm
OSU
going
for
Oklahoma
me.
State too. I think it's a trap.
Yeah.
Everybody's Oklahoma State except for you, Gage. All right, Gage. Kansas at UT. UT favored by 22.5. Kansas. UT. Ryan. Horns down, meaning Kansas. Yeah. I'm thinking a little letdown factor also.
Kansas.
I'm thinking
Kansas it
Kansas.
is.
Kansas. Yeah, definitely.
Brad? UT. All right.
You want to switch because Coach switch?
No, I don't like UT.
I'll switch with you, Coach. UT.
I don't like UT.
All right. All right. LSU at Mississippi State. LSU 18.5 coming over a big win off of Florida.
LSU.
LSU. Ryan.
Where's Landon? when you
Mississippi
need
State.
him?
Land.
Yeah, I'm going Mississippi State as well because I think LSU is going to have a little letdown. They'll win, but they're not going to win by 18.
Huh?
Huh?
That's Ed Orgeron saying LSU there.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. It's all right. You're good at LSU?
There you go. Yes,
Go
sir.
Tigers, boys.
LSU.
Yeah, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Have y'all heard him say that? Oregon at Washington. Oregon favored by 2.5.
They just whooped up too, didn't they?
Oregon, the other OU.
I'll go Washington.
Ryan.
This is
Ryan's
Washington, not
going
Washington
Oregon.
State, right?
This is Washington. Yeah, this is Washington, who just beat the dog out of Arizona.
Arizona.
I'm going Washington.
Oregon here.
You going Oregon? I'm the only one going Washington.
Washington.
Oh, good job. All right, A&M at Ole Miss. A&M only favored by 5.5. Seems like a trap.
I got Ole Miss on this one.
Gage.
I don't
Ole
think they're gonna
Miss.
beat them boys.
5.5. At Oxford. A&M. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go
Yeah,
A&M.
A&M
5.5
here, too.
isn't very many.
I got what is it? Mississippi?
Ole
right?
Miss.
Ole Miss.
Oh yeah, I got
Ole
Ole Miss.
Miss.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I like
you
that.
watched them play this year?
I have, but I don't think they're gonna
A&M.
kill Ole
Yeah.
Miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A&M's reeling right now.
Yeah, they're barely there. Right
Yeah,
now.
they're reeling. All right, here we go with the high school picks. Georgetown at Pflugerville.
Georgetown. Pflugerville, Scott.
Everybody's
Eagles.
Yeah,
Is it-
I got Eagles.
GT
Yeah,
across
Eagles.
the board. Okay. Conley at Manor. Manor barely beat Rouse,
Conley.
20-18.
Conley.
Conley. Yeah, definitely Conley.
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 Gage.
Is this a
Conley.
Thursday or Friday night game, sir?
I'm not sure. I think it's Friday because
It's
Maynard,
Friday, I'm
Maynard
going
played.
Maynard.
Maynard played the Thursday night game this past week.
It's on camera. It's Thursday if it's Connolly. If it's Friday, it's Maynard. So
All
if
right.
there's any discussion on that.
I think it's Friday. I'm
Right.
going. Okay, Maynard for everybody except for Gage and
Conley.
y'all.
I got Conley.
Conley.
Look at y'all.
Conley both nights.
Conley was a little better than y'all thought they were going to be, weren't they?
Yeah, they came out and tried to do a little something, but the other team came
Okay.
out with it.
Okay. Don't get yourself in trouble. All right, here's some random ones. Liberty Hill at Lampasas. Lampasas is number 9 in the state right now.
I got them passes.
And passes, definitely.
They got a nice running back.
Gage going Liberty Hill. Ryan? Liberty Hill? I'm going Lampasas.
I am
And
too.
passes.
God, when's the last time Liberty Hill has lost 2 regular season?
I don't know. I think
they
they've lost
did, ooh.
3. Y'all both going
And passes.
Lampasas? All right. Vista Ridge at Cedar Ridge. Y'all scrimmaged Vista Ridge.
Vista Ridge.
Gage? Vista Ridge? Right? Cedar Ridge? I am going Vista Ridge.
That Vista.
Coach Hooten, who are we going with there? All right, going with Coach Hooten on that one.
Going Cedar? All right.
Yeah, I think
Vista Ridge.
Deuce
Vista Ridge.
is gonna show up.
All right.
I see Ridge.
All right, and here's the last one. We'll see where y'all go on this one. We always do a 6-man pick. Spur Bulldogs at the number 7 Ira Bulldogs. The Battle of the Bulldogs.
Ira.
Ira?
I'm just saying Ira because they're saying Ira. So I'm
Ryan, you're going
Ira.
Spur. I'm going
I'm going with
Spur.
Coach.
I'll go Ira.
Oh,
You going
Coach said
Ira?
Coach said Ira, so we say
Ira.
All
Ira.
right, so that's what y'all are doing.
Ira. No, well, this for this one.
Coach knows his 6-man football.
6-man football.
Y'all ever seen 6-man football?
No sir.
Have you not?
No sir.
Me too.
Google it or YouTube it, whatever y'all do. Yeah, do the
Google.
YouTube it. It's awesome. It's like basketball on a football field.
6-man
That's
football.
that's what they
Mayor,
play
you,
like
you,
it.
you talk about you'd be that guy.
How did-
Talk about your hands. You could be the lineman.
It's like 7 on 7
telling
basically -1.
it might
yeah.
be your game, Amir.
Like West Texas, these little small towns in West Texas. There's just
Look at him
some
flexing
around
over
here
there.
that
He's
play
feeling
it.
it. You seen that?
Y'all look up 6-man football. It's fun. Well, we won't have 6-man football Friday night. We'll have 11-man football. It'll be big boy football at Cedar Park, Gupton Stadium. Hippos take on Cedar Park Timberwolves, and Hippos trying to go to 3-0 in district play, 6-0 overall. And fellas, good luck. Thanks for joining us tonight. Y'all did a fantastic job. Need to have you back.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Amir's going to be the host from now on. I'm just going to hand off the headset.
We can give
on-
him a 5-minute
Let's do
segment
it.
each week,
yeah,
huh?
Honestly.
he's
good.
good.
Let's do it,
Jay did a
guys.
great job too.
Thank you.
Coach, good luck, and we will we'll be back next Monday to talk about a win over the Cedar Park
do it.
Timberwolves. All right, for Ryan Robinson, Coach LaPlante, for Amir, for Jay, for Gage Bowles, our engineer, I'm Todd Robinson saying have a great week, and we'll see you Friday night in Cedar Park.